right, guys, so day one practice report out here at Lake Eucha, or Eucha, however you say it. Man, guys, I'm on them. It seems like nothing I can do is wrong today, but the problem with that is it's like April 7th. I'm sure everybody else is on them too. I'm sure they're easy to catch right now. So I started this morning, and where I'm going to start tomorrow, I have a really good spot. And I went in this morning pretty early. I got there maybe like 8:30 or so. One of the first places I checked. I checked that spot and immediately shook 2 or 3 off. Shook 2 fish off, and I was like, okay, this is good. And then I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. I was like, you know what, one more cast, whatever. So of course I get bit, and I'm like, oh, I'll let him get off. So I'm just holding my rod there, kind of waiting for him to shake off, and he just won't let go of it. So I'm just like, oh, you're coming in the boat. Set the hook on him, and it was a good one, like probably a 4-pounder. It's like a 20-incher. And I was like, all right, I'm getting out of here for real. So I got out of there, haven't went back. That's where I'm planning on starting in the morning. I'm gonna try to be the first one to unload my kayak, and then as soon as we take off, I'm hauling butt to that spot, and I'm gonna hopefully get there first. I know there's a bunch of fish in there. I don't know how many people are gonna try to get there, because I saw it on a map and I was like, ooh, that looks like a good spot. So I'm sure somebody else did too. It's kind of a backwater area. So I left that early and I went around, and everything I'm doing is working. And I just found another spot where I caught a 16-incher, and I've shook a couple off. And then I've got several spots I can pull up and catch 14-inchers. Like basically anywhere I go, I can catch 14-inchers. But I think the key is going to be tomorrow is finding the big ones. Hopefully that big one I caught this morning isn't the only one in that spot. So I'm going to get there in the morning, hopefully catch some good ones. I really hope they're back there, and I really hope there's not a bunch of people racing me there and that lose the spot. But I'm going to try to get there first, try to catch some big fish. I'm always leery about when my practice is going this good. I'm leery because when I have a really good practice like this, I don't normally catch them the next day. So I'm excited because I've been catching them really, really well, and then getting bit a lot. But I'm also nervous because I don't know, good practice doesn't always mean good tournament. Our conditions are going to be really similar tomorrow. So hopefully my spot doesn't get blown out. Hopefully there's still fish there. If not, I've got several other spots. I'm going to have a lot of things go my way, and I'm going to have to get lucky. Not lose any fish is going to be a big thing. I'm going to retie everything tonight. But anyway, it's about 9, and I've went around and I've got an A spot, B spot, C spot, and I've got everywhere I go I'm catching fish, and I've got 2 spots where I've caught better than average fish. And I said I wasn't going to hook anymore like an hour ago, and I've hooked 2 more since then. So now I'm really leaving. Now there's no reason for me to keep fishing. I kind of have a pretty good bearing of what's going on. I'm catching them on CHATTERBAIT. Let's see, green pumpkin CHATTERBAIT with I believe it's a 3/8 CHATTERBAIT with a green pumpkin saucy swimmer on it. So that's that, guys. Like I say, I'm nervous because I really have caught them too good for tomorrow to go good. But hopefully they're doing the same thing they are. I've got a lot of backup plans if my initial plan doesn't work. And so this is the Eastern Roadrunner. We're gonna be like, there's 3 lakes we can go to: Pumpback, Eucha, whatever. And I think Spavinaw, I'm not sure. I haven't fished any of them before today. So I looked at this lake, Eucha, on a map, and I thought it looked good for the way I like to fish. Came here and it was. So I don't really know how the other lakes are. I haven't seen too many kayaks today. I think I've seen like probably 3 other kayaks other than me. We're going to try to make something happen tomorrow. I need to get a little bit lucky. Need to execute when I get bites and hopefully come away. Be fishing that chatterbait and then a wacky rig is my kind of 1-2 punch combo. So hopefully we can catch them. All right, y'all, it's tournament morning. Check out that full moon. Got out here really early. The only vehicle here. Somebody had left me a little fire. It's pretty cold out here, so stopped warm my hands up. Kayak's over there. You guys can't see it, but anyway, got here super early this morning because I wanted to be able to get to my spot. So I wanted to be able to launch. There's only parking for a couple vehicles at this ramp, so I wanted to make sure that I got here early. So I'm gonna sit here and warm up my hands for a while. We'll see you guys on the water. All right, guys, so I just made it to the A1 spot. What I think is gonna be a good spot, where I caught my big one and got a couple bites yesterday. I got here at 5 o'clock this morning. Our launch time wasn't until 6, but it's a really small parking lot at this boat ramp. So I decided I needed to get here early to make sure I had a spot to park my truck and I could launch here. And I waited till 6 and nobody else came. So as of now, I've got this spot to myself. So let's see if I can make something happen with it. Hopefully the fish are still here. If not, we've got some backup plans, but you guys stay tuned. We've got about 20 minutes till first cast, so we'll see you then. Let's go, number 1, baby. 1675, baby, let's go. If you'll notice right here, I get this backlash and my lure is just resting at this point. So if you'll notice, as soon as I pick up the slack from the lure, there's a fish on the line. I wish I would have paid more attention to this bite leading up to this. And that lure was completely still. As soon as I caught up with it, bam, there's a fish. Let's go, baby, number 2. 16 inches. All right, let's catch another one. Dang it. First one I missed. So right here, you'll see my second missed fish right in this little time period. I wasn't really worried at this point because of my practice was so good, and that I got so many bites doing, in so many different spots. I was a little bit frustrated, as you can see, because I knew that these fish were key fish, but I also wasn't that worried about it because I thought that I could make those up and catch more fish later. But you'll see how important those fish were. That was a giant. Oh no. Man, that was a big one. So after this second missed fish, so this would have been 4 bites, 4 fish I should have had in the boat at this point, and it was really early. It was about probably 7:30 or earlier, and I should have had 4 fish in the boat. So my thinking was I need to cover this area, fish it pretty thoroughly, and I had 4 bites on a chatterbait. That's what I got bit on all day the day before. So I covered water with the chatterbait, fished it, and I had that thing glued in my hands. I knew there was fish in this area, so I covered it. So at this point, it's about like 9 o'clock in the morning. I had decided that I needed to do one or two things. I either needed to slow down and fish something, drag something around in this area that I knew there was fish, or I needed to use a chatterbait, a moving bait, and cover a bunch of new water and try to pick up some more active fish before the morning bite died off. So what I did was I left this area and went to a new area trying to fish around, and I fished around with no luck for a little while until I came up on some docks, decided to drag a Ned rig around on the docks, and picked up some bites. All right, y'all. So I only have 2 fish, and I've missed 2 fish. It is 8:45, and I spent too much time in this area, I think. We need to run around and find some fish. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. Alright guys, camera was turned sideways. Got number 3, 14 and a half. So like I said, I fished around with the chatterbait with no luck, got to this dock and decided to slow it down, drag the Ned rig around, immediately get a bite. So I decided to work this Ned rig around on this area where I wasn't bitten in practice, and I wasn't sure if there was fish, but I just got a bite, so I decided to drag this Ned rig around. What's interesting looking back is that I worked around this area where I wasn't sure if there was fish and decided to slow down, drag it around, and I spent a lot of time here making, 2 and 3 minute casts with a Ned rig, like it's just dragging it painfully slow, and was able to pick up some bites. What's interesting to me, or kind of dumb really, is that I never got it in my mind to go back to this area that I started, where I knew there was fish, I knew there was a lot of fish, and I knew there was big fish. I wasn't able to get them to bite on a chatterbait, so I wrote that area off and moved to a different area, decided to work around, and ended up slowing way down. Looking back, I really wish I would have went back to that original area where I knew there was a lot of fish, and I wish I would have spent more time just dragging a lure around and tried to pick up some of those bigger fish. That's number 4, field measure. That's a tiny one. Alright, so that one was 10 and a half. And the Ned rig, the second one on the Ned rig here in about the last 15 minutes. So the conditions are a lot different than they were yesterday. Yesterday I was burning a buzzbait around and catching them on everywhere. I couldn't do anything wrong. It was like every new spot I hit, I would catch a fish and leave. And then I'd go to a different spot, catch a fish and leave. Just burning a buzz or a chatterbait. Today it's been a lot different. It's 10 o'clock now. Haven't had a bite in a while there before that last one, and now I've caught 2 in a row on the Ned rig. So I'm gonna slow down. I've got 4.5 hours to catch 1 more fish. So we're just gonna slow down and try to catch a fish, and we'll try to upgrade that small one later. But that's it. It's a lot different than it was yesterday. I was not expecting to have to work so hard today. But I haven't checked the standings or anything. I'm not sure how everybody's doing. But we're just gonna keep grinding. Hopefully find a couple more fish. That took 2 minutes. Another tiny one. I'll have to get rid of these last 2, but it feels good to have 5. 11 1/4. All right, y'all. So that last fish was about 10 o'clock or whatever. Picked up a limit by 10. Had 4.5 more hours after that to fish around, and we spent it fishing. I worked hard, man. I ran all over the lake, ran to all the spots that I had caught fish the day before. But again, even after the fish were telling me to slow down, drag something around, I ran to all those places that I had caught fish on a chatterbait yesterday and tried to throw a chatterbait again, even though they were telling me they didn't want that. I tried to force feed them, and as you can see, it just didn't pay out. Ended up with like a 17th place finish. Man, I'm so frustrated. Like I say, I'm thankful to get a limit. It's not a terrible finish for Angler of the Year. It's like 17th out of 95 dudes. But man, the way I caught him the day before, I really thought if I could catch him that way and get lucky with a big one, I really thought I would make a run at winning it. But it just didn't work out that way. That's how fishing goes. And I hate having a really good practice like that, because I was so keyed in on what they were doing yesterday that I completely disregarded what they were doing today. So let that be a lesson for you guys. Just because they were doing it yesterday does not mean they're doing it today. So a lot of things I'm reflecting on and looking at the decisions I should have made, could have made. It doesn't matter. We caught 5, had a 17th place finish. So it is what it is, man. I'm gonna have a short memory. I'm gonna spend some time going over the footage and trying to figure out why I missed those first 2 fish. Really, fishing's just, a lot of times losing fish is just part of it. But I'm gonna try to look at the ways that I was setting the hook and try to see if I can find ways to improve that, land those key fish when they bite, and try to fish cleaner. But man, we're gonna move on. We have Grand Lake coming up, not this weekend but next weekend. So big tournament there. Going to try to improve and keep on improving and have a good finish of that tournament. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed it, learn from these mistakes, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.